Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, interwebs, and everybody out there, everywhere else? This is your headmaster here at Gamer Quotient GQAzndood. What's going on? It is July 29th, 2025, here at the Pacific Northwest, Bellingham, Washington, the best little podcast we have here in town. Hopefully, you guys had a great week. We're here for another episode of Gaming Academy. We got a lot of stuff to cover as always. So, eyes on the screen, thumbs off the pause menu. It's time for another class here at the Gaming Academy, guys. So, if it's your first time here, I'm the headmaster here at GQAzndood, and tonight we're going deep into the 16-bit trenches of the console wars. Yes, I was there with one of the boldest lines in gaming history. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. You'll hear that a lot tonight, and we'll compare the SNES and Sega Genesis not just in the raw specs, but in legacy, impact, and just straight up attitude with their awesome marketing. So, then we're going to be hitting This Week in Gaming History, as always, the roundtable to ask, are gaming genres becoming obsolete with all these hybrids and genre-bending titles? Do labels like RPG or Metroidvania even help anymore? Or Souls-like, right? So, also, you want to check out, what do you call this? This episode with all the fun little things I've hidden in the stream. So let me know if you identify any of these or any what do you call these series of coincidences. So check photos. So check that out. Finally, stick around for a little bit of the tech here, where I believe Ace will be covering Carlos for this week, and of course your final boss moment, where I'll be dropping this week's XP boost and wisdom. Because let's be real, IRL is still hard mode. So let's boot up. And class is now in session. But I don't do this by myself, and I brought reinforcements with me tonight. It is incredibly hot in this room, so I got the fan blowing over there. Well, let us introduce everybody on staff here. The one and the only Blazing Ace. What's up?
Ding, ding, ding. Class is back in session, folks. It's great to see you. Hope you all had yourselves a killer weekend. We've got a lot to discuss this week at the Academy, and also for this week's edition of the Tech. Like GQ mentioned, I'm going to be covering Carlos in Project Fight Forever, a character that hasn't been seen much in Final Fight, really. I mean, not since Final Fight 2, and most recently in the World Tour mode for Street Fighter 6. So, if you're looking to see what Mori Herrera did with the character, then by all means, keep your eyes peeled, because I got plenty to show you.
Yeah. Also, what was the Mad Gear guy that joined in 3? What was his name?
That was Hugo.
In 3, like that, as with Lucia.
Oh, in Final Fight 3. Oh, yeah. You're talking Dean.
Oh, Dean. Okay. All right. I was just like, why is he? In my brain, it looks like Charlie a little bit. So
kinda, yeah. Actually, I'm not entirely sure why we don't have Dean yet. I'll have to double check.
Yeah, I mean, he might have been in Lucia's like Final Fight, Street Fighter 5, sure, or the background somewhere. But yes, this week we also bring our secret guest. Well, it's not a secret because he's dresses loud and he's very loud, but he's back again, guys. To get that bastard from Bellingham, or formerly Bellingham, now Tacoma. Welcome back.
What's up, everybody? This is Thomas Duder. Hey, this is Mr. Get It From the Streets. Mr. It's Hot in Topeka. Mr. You'll never catch me on the Epstein list, because I didn't go or have the privilege to go to that island, and I wouldn't anyway, because none of us should. Just saying. What's
lasted 45 seconds before we started talking about Epstein list. Got it.
Hey, you bring me on here for the social.
Not even a minute.
Not even a minute.
We're here for it. We're here for it. Don't look at the bullet behind the corner.
Well, it's good to have you back, man. You always bring the MSG to this stream, so appreciate
I think they call it Flavor Flav on this side of town, but yeah, it's Tacoma. It's hot.
Yeah,
we all here.
And let us not forget our beloved, the man up in his ivory tower at Night City, Mr. Nicholas.
Ivory Tower. Man? What is with the ivory tower? Yeah,
dude, you're the guy. You're like Saruman.
We gotta reset the duder counter in the corner, so when the VOD goes up, another duder moment marked it right there, upper right. We're good.
Yeah. Hey, did I hear Cyberpunk 2077 mentioned though?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we got to
He's
talk
the
more, you
guy.
and me.
Yeah. We'll talk for sure, and I'll send you pictures of my
Here we got to do this
tricked out computer.
every time he does it. Every time he says it.
Every time he says it, that's another one. That's another point.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, dude, I know you in the lobby here before we hopped in. You're like, do I know Nick? Like, dude, I worked at GameStop for 8 years in Bellingham, and then Reset for 8 years. Like, you bought games for me. I know you. We hung
I
out.
know what you look like.
Yeah,
I yelled at you multiple times in a good way, though. In a good way.
Sure, good way. Yeah, no, I still will not return that new game you bought. That was awful. That was your fault.
Which one?
You
Wait.
opened it.
Oh,
Which one?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
it was Reset. It couldn't have been Reset. It must have been the other place. Yeah. I didn't bring back games to Reset. James would never let me live it down. So
Nah, I
No, he would
wouldn't
not.
let you buy it in the first place.
Yes, I'm back. Thank you for having me back. I apologize as well to everyone watching. I will be hopping out randomly, depending if my baby crying needs, some attention in there.
that's a good reason.
Yes, very good reason. But we're back. We're talking Nintendo,
Yeah.
and we're talking Genesis. So I had to be back on for this. Absolutely. I know
Okay.
a couple times I've been on here. People have been talking. We've been talking about the console wars back in the day. I was suggesting that book as well. Like, this is my jam. So I wanted to be here for this one. Thanks for having me.
No, for sure. And I know, like, you've been our Sega, I'm not gonna say stan, but
No,
Or Sega
not
patron.
a stan. No, patron. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
patron.
patron. Because I didn't own a Sega Genesis. Nintendo.
Yeah, that's another reason I wanted to be on here is because of the lead up to it, which is so funny because as I'm sure we get into it soon, the things that are notable about the Genesis and what they did better are way more your style of games, and it was the opposite for me. And it's funny because we ended up on the opposite sides.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. And what did you have, dude? When you were a little wee bastard?
Believe it or not, growing up, it was. I mean, I'm a red-eyed eye dork, as they say on the internet. I grew up with like the Atari. I mentioned that in fact in the previous time I was here. I was there for the Atari, man. I was there for the Coleco and television and all that mess. But from Nintendo, the original 8-bit to Sega Genesis, I'm just saying I almost had the full Tower of Babylon because Sega CD was my jizam, followed by Sega Saturn because Sega ta Sanshiro always, Itsumo forever in my Kokoro where it goes Doki Doki. That's
so you lean towards more of the more Sonic
My Lord,
Mario.
can you please ring the counter there for me?
I ain't even started yet. Oh my god! No.
Oni-chan, calm down, please.
Straight
So
talk
much.
though, Sega CD was great. I loved the full motion video games, but even more so, I loved games like Lunar E, Eternal Blue. But even more so, then Sega Saturn came around.
Sega
They screwed it over.
Sega Saturn.
It's always hurt me in my heart, in my Kokoro, where they backstabbed the Sega Saturn for the Dreamcast. And I know Ace is on the other side of that because he was Dreamcast. He was Team Dreamcast.
I tried to be, but I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't smart enough to hack the games. Anyway,
you go to a place where the back alley markets are, where they'll just give you the ROMs.
Yeah, they call those Korean markets, from what I remember. So. All right, guys. So it is going to be our first segment of tonight. If it's your first time here, we're going to be doing check this out for the console war of our time. And the title Genesis Does What Nintendon't. That is a big title for this episode of
check this out.
That's right. And it's been like kind of littered all over the not the internet at the time, but over media during the 80s, where that was Genesis slogan on the TV. Matter of fact, I think we have some clips pulled up ready for you guys to take a look at here. You got it up, Nick?
Oh boy.
Oh, just some stuff playing in the background?
Yeah, I mean, I have some clips, but they're only like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I pulled up a video from Pixel Playback. It's Genesis versus Nintendo, the origin of the console roles. We'll have that playing in the background. Shout out to that creator.
Awesome.
Just some fun stuff, though, as we're talking about it.
Okay, actually, before we do that, let's. I'm gonna go ahead and play the original commercial that we're talking about. So this is exactly what the whole war was about.
16-bit arcade graphics.
The 30th anniversary Genesis does.
16-bit action.
The 30th anniversary
Does.
Genesis.
Does.
Genesis.
Does.
Catchy, isn't it?
Does.
Genesis does.
Get Golden Axe, Shinobi 3, Fantasy Star 4, Streets of Rage 2, Shining
Yes.
Force, and many more. Only with the Genesis Mini. 30 years young.
30
Pre-order a
years
16-bit Genesis Mini now and get 40 legendary games plus 2 bonus games.
Genesis does.
I love the hello, I'm Sega Genesis. So, but here's the OG.
Genesis does.
16-bit arcade.
Oh, God, I could hear the speakers like in my old TV.
Genesis does.
Sounds like they're
16-bit
blown out
sports
brand
action.
new.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis.
Does.
Genesis.
Does.
Genesis.
Does.
Genesis.
Joe Montana, Buster Douglas,
Get Joe
Michael
Montana free, Pat
Jackson.
Riley free, Buster Douglas free,
Pat
Super
Riley.
Monaco GP
Yeah,
free,
Pat
or
Riley.
Collins free.
They had some
Nintendo. Buy a
hard
16-bit
hitters on
Genesis system between now and October 31st and get an extra game.
All right.
I mean, for good reason too. Like we'll get into it, but like that was always the thing, and what put Sega on the map was the advertising.
I was about to mention, it's kind of almost sad that what you just showed was actually kind of the weakest of their offerings. Because for me, it's all about when they went off the deep end. You know, the food. You know, things that commercial came up recently on the internet, and it was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, what? Which commercial?
Oh, food. Just look up Sega Genesis food. I'm certain you'll find it.
Oh,
Hi,
for-
Tornado Shop.
All right, well, you know, back in the 90s, gaming wasn't just about pixels and power-ups. It got really personal, and no fight was more brutal than the iconic war between Sega and Super Nintendo. Honestly, though, I think Sega came out swinging a little bit much more fiercer, and their ads were much more memorable than Nintendo was. Like, I think Nintendo really only caught their tailwind like when the N64 had come out. But as far as like Super Nintendo games, I don't really remember too much about Super Nintendo. I don't know if you guys have the same experience I have had. Wow, $189.99. That's crazy. Well, this is probably like $400 now.
As far as advertising goes,
Yeah.
part of Nintendo's deal, really, even back then, was that they had that sort of tenure, that sort of legacy, even with the Super NES. So when Sega started advertising their stuff, especially for the Genesis, like they had to come out swinging hard because Nintendo was a household name. Nintendo was the Coke of game consoles.
Well, yeah, it did re-spark the home console revolution. Just because like Atari almost ruined it because they were doing shovelware like nobody, right?
Yeah.
And Nintendo, and this is why Nintendo had that Nintendo seal of quality on their games, because they wanted to make sure that it wasn't shovelware. I don't know how authentic that was, but I do know there were some games on the Nintendo console that didn't have that authenticity because they were they were unofficially put onto the console. I think a lot of them were like Bible games, right? Yeah, for what I remember. So yeah, you're seeing some of the specs on the Genesis here right now. Yeah, just a real quick. Well, actually, this is playing. This is extremely relevant. So the Sega Genesis in 1989. I'm assuming this is the base console, right? And the Super Nintendo, keep in mind, came out in 1991. So the CPU was a Motorola 68000 at 7.6 megahertz for Genesis, while the Super Nintendo had what they called a Rico 5822. It looks like based on a 65C 816, which is like a super old processor at 3.58 megahertz. So arguably, the CPU for the Genesis was twice as fast than the Super Nintendo. So blast processor, they weren't lying. That's a thing, right? Now on a cartridge game, it's hard to kind of identify that, but I do recall not experiencing slowdown when I played certain games on the Genesis versus the Super Nintendo. So there's sometimes in the Super Nintendo when there's too many things on the screen, there is slowdown. So that is factual for me.
And before anyone in chat hops in, we know blast processing doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. It's marketing speak, my man.
Blast processing. Graphics wise, the Genesis had 64 simultaneous colors out of 512. Okay. And then the Super Nintendo, man, I think like 4 times 4, 256 simultaneous colors out of 32,768. So definitely a lot brighter color palette for the Super Nintendo. Okay. But and then resolution wise, it's kind of odd. So Sega Genesis was 320 by 224, right? Most games were that, but the Super Nintendo was 256 by 224, sometimes higher. But it's not what do you call this? It's not like biblical. Like it's like changed per game, judge it per game. Now, what I remember that they talked about was they really wanted Super Nintendo really wanted to top Sega's sound chip. Here's just the difference between the two. I don't really know the difference, but here it is. So the sound chip for the Sega Genesis had a Yamaha YM 6212 FM plus PSG, right? Whatever that means. But here's the funny part: the Super Nintendo had a Sony chip in it called the Sony SPC 700 with 8-channel PCM. Now, PCM in an 8-channel PCM was like some of the PC's sound capabilities, because I had a 16 channel PCM on my Sound Blaster because I'm a young man at the time. Yeah, and those were not cheap. So that's why the sound on the Super Nintendo is just a little bit better. Both systems carry ROM cartridges, as we both know. But here's what's the kicker. So the cartridges for the Genesis had a 64 kilobyte main RAM, right? And then plus 64 kilobytes for the video as well. So making it like a 128 kilobyte. Now the Super Nintendo doubled the kilobytes for the main RAM, but also spared 64 kilobytes for the video and 64 kilobytes for the audio. Hence, probably why we have a better sound quality on Super Nintendo, because they had more hardware, right, and better hardware for that. And let's be real. I mean, and I want to be generous here. The Super Nintendo did come out 2 years after the Genesis, so they probably looked at that machine and kind of like, let's dissect this and make our own, right, and see what's going on. How can we make it better? But as far as units sold between the two, 30.75 million units for Sega Genesis worldwide, while the Super Nintendo had 49.1 million. So, 19 more million. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, I also did library size. The library size for the Sega Genesis is about 900 plus titles around the world, while the Super Nintendo has 1,700 titles around the world. So bigger library, just bigger a little bit of everything except the processing. So it's kind of strange how that's good. Actually, the price is on there as well. It's kind of strange that Super Nintendo kind of went like, on the CPU, we're like, we're gonna sacrifice the CPU and let Genesis be faster. Maybe they just couldn't do it, but at the same time, I kind of want to hear the panel's like thoughts on this. Like, as far as hardware goes, I don't know if you guys have any experience in hardware, but I can name off some other things here as well as we chat.
Not in exactly about the hardware myself. Also, a big shout out to Venom in the chat. Jagos, what's up? Jagos been going off in the chat about stuff about this. So, number love. But no, you know what? What I want to talk about more is where I'm more focused on something like this, and that's the marketing and the culture of the time. Okay. One of the reasons why you're probably not going to see too much of memorable advertisements from Nintendo at the time is because of the culture. They were coming at this more as an already established, even though it's a new industry, an already established Japanese business. It's not like the Japanese were known for the insane amount of advertisements that we know nowadays, or even like back in the 90s. But at the time, they were still coming at it rather stolid, I want to say, rather staid, I'm not saying they were plain, because I'm certain they had like really wild, and certainly later on, especially when we got Reggie Fils-Ami, we suddenly started getting these more, wild advertisements. They were coming at it with that Sega angle. But Sega, on the other hand, they came at this swinging. There are so many advertisements. You can look back. The entirety of Sega Sanshiro, which I've already mentioned. Sega just has it in their blood to come out with the boxing gloves off. Like, I'm talking about fists dipped in glue and glass, ready to knock fools out in the alleyway and mug them for their money. And it's not as even as like they quote unquote won, but then when it comes to the advertisements, the marketing, oh my God, come on. It is more memorable because they came at it with this angle that was not solid, that was not business as usual. Because they didn't want to play safe in when it comes to their marketing. Their marketing was Sega. Their marketing was, once again, as you've already stated, Genesis got what Nintendo don't.
Yeah. I don't think they were trying to compete against Super Nintendo from that statement. They were trying to be like, we're different and we're better at it.
Well, that's the thing.
Right.
No. That's the thing. They came. I mean, no matter how you look at it, that is a very aggressive stance, and they've always had an aggressive stance in Nintendo versus vice versa. Now, one could argue that Nintendo in the end won out, especially when Sega, went down. Rest in peace. I'm just saying, when they finally gave up and said, "Okay, we'll just do video games only," But
wasn't there a reason for that? I think I read somewhere that Sega specifically hired like a marketer from like a high-end marketer from some movie or something because they really wanted to show the West, right? Not like to translate that Eastern like philosophy to the West as much as possible. And in a way that was like early localization, like because a lot of stuff that was brought over from Japan, we had to localize it for the Americans because like we don't understand their like jokes, we don't understand like some of their things, right? Like they made Donkey Kong like easier for us, didn't they, in Donkey Kong Country? Because like they thought we were just worse at video games. Like that's those are the small things that they hid to kind of like show you like, hey, we want more Americans to buy our product, right? Stuff like
something that Jago's just mentioned about how Sega was infighting between America and Japan, and as well as when they were fighting between their console and arcade. One of the things I'd like to point out also is let's not forget that again, and this is a major thing to remember, is the business culture. These are not, they didn't have the decades of international business behind and marketing behind their under their belt at the time. Like you just stated, they came out here and localized the marketing, and that was to me still the most amazing move they could have done. But I'm also kind of biased because 3 courses away from getting my bachelor's in marketing. So which, by the way, if you're looking for a marketer, just let me know if it's the industry that I'm in, because I'm not going to do yours.
I mean, we've been through this channel and I've put up a bunch of retro ads, right? And there were some Nintendo, some Sega, and what I'm noticing is that in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of the ads from Sega were pretty edgy, right? They were, and remember, their target market for these video game consoles for back then were teenage boys, right? That was like they weren't targeting to adults; it was teenage. That was
the
boys,
audience,
right?
though, at the time.
Yeah, that was the and you're right, and that was the audience. And good reason for that. But like I started noticing like Nintendo's ads in like the late 90s and early 2000s, like once the Game Boy Advance had come out, a lot of their ads started looking like Sega ads, like they're a little bit more edgy, right? But of the time. So they've definitely like caught on to their marketing, but definitely Sega just came crashing through the gate with this. And of course they had a valid reason. They wanted to compete. Excuse me. But Genesis had a faster CPU, right? And they were great for racing games. They were great for games like Sonic the Hedgehog, and also, believe it or not, arcade ports. That's why Mortal Kombat ran a little bit better on the Sega Genesis, right? But the Super Nintendo had a superior sound chip and a brighter color palette. And what does that appeal to? Like brighter colors and sound, right? So it appeals to the people that are sensitive to senses, like giving you like a much more like world building, lush colors, cinematic games like Final Fantasy, Super Metroid. That's why Nintendo games like Mario World, they look so good because of just the console itself, right?
Yeah.
So now the thing that I want to add between the war was that they like we're watching this and you saw the commercial. The ads like features bold in your face narration, so they're like almost like they're almost kind of like challenging you, like you got to get a Sega, otherwise you're idiot, kind of like
you're a loser,
trash. Because 90s kids are like, I'm no loser, like they want to be cool, right? Exactly. One of the things that I haven't really seen in recent marketing is they called out Nintendo by name, right? Like, and they're just, it's kind of like Burger King saying McDonald's is trash, right? Normally they have like a parody of McDonald's, but like they were like, Nintendo doesn't.
Wait. Oh, you mean at the time? I thought you meant now. It's like, wait, what? Who?
No, at the time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then one of the things that we really saw was Sega showed off a bunch of games that Nintendo couldn't match, like as far as like Altered Beast and Sonic. So exclusives, I definitely still play like Factor. Although I like this commercial with the 32X.
The Tower
But
of
like,
Babylon.
yeah, and then it was smart to say like, Genesis does what Nintendo don't, because you can't play Altered Beast on
Yeah.
Super Nintendo. You can't play Sonic on Super Nintendo. So that was very smart of them to do that. Very subtle jabs, but it got the point across as well. And let's also add Sega was the first to go online versus Nintendo on their console, so that's an achievement too. So one can argue that like Sega was all about, they were much more advanced as far as like a console itself, but as far as like power of the console, like Super Nintendo was clearly on paper much better as far as like like I said, on paper. So the one thing that, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, the one thing I was going to point out was also, but let's also not forget the downfall of Sega. As much as I know we're gathered here today to watch Sega bully and chump change and give Nintendo swirlies and whatnot, but I don't remember any other bully techniques. All I remember is swirlies and bully punching after mounting a mount tackle. But one of the things was that killed Sega wasn't just the Nintendo numbers, because I mean, like you just pointed out, they were doing numbers 3 years younger and like what, 19 million more units sold. Like, man. But at the same time, though, Sega in and of itself literally choked on its own saliva and died right in front of us. Like, just dude, they could have done so much better if they just were more focused, more on the same page. It's a good, if you're into business structure, if you're into marketing, it's a great thing to actually take a look into on your own, just to see for yourself how they screwed themselves up, how they screwed over some of their third-party titles too. And yeah, the exclusives. Now I know that's not the argument here, but exclusives I find to be an interesting argument because of the time. They were necessary. They were I'm of that team. They were absolutely 100% necessary. Nowadays, I don't want to jump. Yeah, I don't want to jump the gun, but nowadays,
it's because we've really shallowed the differences between each console, right? Every console now is just a fancy computer that's easy to use.
Yeah,
right.
Jacobs pointed out the issue with Sega was faction battles. Absolutely correct.
Yeah,
yeah, they weren't on the same page. So yeah.
No. Well, I know like Sega, like I think their Sega West and Sega East didn't get along very well. And I think that was, I think one of the main things was that like Sega East was like Sega in Japan has a totally different concept than Sega of America on how they do business. And during that time, we weren't really like connected as far as the world goes, right? We didn't have the internet. We weren't like, think about it this way, guys. And here's the thing that really kind of made me wonder about this. Back in the day, they used to, like I said, localize these games for Western cultures to make sure it makes sense to us. They changed the names, they changed the art, right? And they censored some of that stuff that didn't make any sense to us. Now they just kind of go, let's just translate it into English and then leave everything in there, because we're much more connected as far as the world goes with one another, So, and I don't want to get into the globalism, but at the same time, I think that's better for creators, because we've talked about this where some voice actors are like taking it onto themselves to alter the script and the wording of Japanese scripts, right? Because that doesn't make any sense to America, right? Or to us over here. Well, who are you to do that? Like, that's not the intention, right? And those days are over. And we want to know how the original message was sent, but just know, back in the day, we didn't have that option. We didn't have the internet, so we were kind of limited to the scope of the world with the products we got through these organizations, through these products, right? So
yeah.
So this is a very interesting one that I thought up the other day, because like I started realizing that I was like, when I was younger, like a lot of these games, like they changed the names and they changed the titles of certain games because for some reason they just seemed cooler in the West if they was named this way. Right. And I show you guys box art all the time, how it's different in US versus Japan, right? And now it's like there's really not much of a difference except layout. And at the same time, like we prefer the original versus localized by certain people, right? So it's just kind of interesting how we flipped on that. So it's almost as if we had a choice back then, I think we would have also wanted the original, but but we didn't have a choice because there was less control of it for the consumer, but more control from the companies, right?
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting conversation. But yes, as far as the war goes, okay, let's ask the panel. Who do you think won? And what does winning look like?
Well, I mean, if we're talking, textbook definition, the winner is the last one standing, then you got to give it to Nintendo.
I mean,
Because,
facts. They still have their own hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they still have their own hardware. They still have their own first-party software as well.
Yeah.
And then there's just the simple fact that, in order to survive in a lot of ways, Sega's hardware legacy was basically subsumed into the beginnings of Xbox entering the hardware market.
Mm-hmm.
I argue that we won, and I know it's a very generic and even neutral stance. But no, it's true. We won. Who were raised in the 90s, who stayed up late to watch those psychotic advertisements on whatever your local channels or cable, or if your parents were divorcing and you got cable in your room, you're going to be watching that. And I'm just saying, for us, the gamers, I mentioned earlier, I am what's known as a red-eyed idort, and I wear that proudly on my sleeve still to this day. Those who've been to the rooms know what I'm talking about. Those who've been to the places know what I'm talking about. And I'm pretty certain everyone in this panel has been a red-eyed idort at some point in time. When you play in whatever, because you don't care. When you'll get your hands on whether it's renting or borrowing or just buying if you can, done all the car washes you can do to go get that system. It doesn't matter. You're going to get your hands on it and you're going to play it. And honestly, at the time, and even today on a certain level, the modern day versions of this, of systems fighting each other, of companies fighting each other, will always make it better for us. Every time they try to one up each other, every time they try to outspend each other and give us deeper discounts, whatever have you. I'm just saying that's good for the consumer. And that's where we should be. Just so who won? We did. Especially when we had Sewer Shark and Night Trap.
Competition fertilizes a healthy market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Competition breeds innovation, simply put.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's what, and honestly, this is why we have the Nintendo Switch today. The second one, and how bad it is. Because they have no competition.
Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, no, I agree. I thoroughly.
Hey, let me finish. I know you're ready to jump on me. I tricked you.
Sorry. Yeah, you caught me with that feint. Like the rabbit didn't get me, but the left one did. Oh, that hurts. But you're right.
And that's what I'm saying. Absolutely correct. And this is why, I don't want to get into why Nintendo sucks this day, but think about it. They have no one to compete with except the Steam Deck, but that's not really a console, right? So this is why they get away with a lot of this stuff, because they pretty much go, well, where else are you going to play Zelda? Where else are you going to play Nintendo or Mario, right? And they kind of go, where else are you going to have a handheld console, right? So that's what I mean. It's like this era, you're right, we all won because they were fighting for our love, right? And it was just like, what kind of love do you like? It's kind of like that's what it was. It's both love, right? Now it's like, well, you don't have a choice but to love me. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? Right? It sounds like an abusive relationship. So anyway, the war between Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo wasn't just about spec. It was about style, right? Sega was loud, fast, in your face, rebellious, like kids, right? And then Nintendo was like more polished, deep, like iconic. They were trying to be more classy. That's why I'm putting a little bit more Nintendo ads up right now. That looks like Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh my god, I remember this one.
Right, but Sega. Let's be real. Sega's ad game, top tier troll level unlocked, and I think there was nothing more like, Sega's badass. It's because they called Nintendo out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of people love that. But let's also be real. Like myself and my household, we were a one console household. If I wasn't allowed to get a Genesis if I had a Super Nintendo, I wasn't allowed to get a Super Nintendo if I had a Genesis, right? So as a kid, I had to pick one, right? So what do? How do I choose? Well, I choose with what looks cooler, what games do I want to play?
Yeah.
Right? As much as I wanted to play Sonic and Altered Beast, and God, I did want to play Altered Beast, right?
Mhm.
I was also just like, man, the Super Nintendo side to side with the games that are both on both systems just look better on Super Nintendo, right? So why would I get an inferior system if I could just choose one that was going to be given to me, you know? So that was me. That was my choice because I had two options. That's the difference. Now I don't have a choice. I have to get a Switch
Yeah.
too. You know what I'm saying? So or not at all, right?
Mm.
So and this is why hopefully like we competition does come back. Pricing is more competitive, and so Nintendo can kind of make a run for their money. They can't be lazy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think Nick's doing daddy duties, but that's pretty much it for Yo Chick to Sell. Unless you have some more to add.
Oh, I always got more to add, but I won't this time.
All right, sounds good.
Yo, check this out.
All right, sweet.
God, I saw that.
Hey guys, sorry about that. It's
No, you're
it's a really rough night tonight.
It's okay, bro.
We decided that Nintendo won the console war, but Sega won the ad war during that time.
Oh,
Okay.
definitely.
I mean, sure.
Oh, it looks like somebody has something to say. Let's go.
No. Like broad strokes, yeah, you could say that easily. Me personally, when you talk about the whole like that generation of like console wars, quote unquote, like to me, it's always going to be preference. Like I alluded to at the top, depending on the games you like to play, one place was better than the other. If you liked the arcade experience, you're going to prefer Genesis. If you prefer RPGs, it's going to be SNES. Like all stuff you guys talked about. So it's for me. There's certain games that just feel better on Genesis, or certain games that sound better on SNES. Like sometimes it's down to what we talked about. Our parents did not have money to get both, so whichever one was in my house was what I had.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you're as a kid, what do you get to pick, right? It's the games you want to play.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I
mean, I didn't get to pick for this generation. I picked for the next generation. So
yeah. Well, my background is like my rebelliousness of like, I only get one game, huh? Oh, screw you, parents. I'll get all the games. It's my therapy. Speaking of history and games, let's go to our next topic, our segment. Your favorite, my favorite. That's right. This week in gaming history. So if it's your first time here, we got something special for you. Now here's the thing, right? Put your pencils down, put your eyes forward, because now it's time to fire up that Chrono Drive. We can't use DeLorean because you get sued, so we got to use something else. And warp through the pixels of the past. This is what we call this week in gaming history here at the Gaming Academy. We honor launches, legacies, and legendary moments that shaped our favorite hobby. Whether it's a debut that rewrote the playbook, or a flop we pretended that never happened. Rise of the Robots. If it dropped this week in gaming's timeline, we're going to talk about it. Now let's roll the timeline back and let's get going. All right, first day, we do Sunday through Saturday. And I wanted to talk about this one specifically because I played it last year. StarCraft 2 had come out on July 27th on the PC and Mac. So I don't know if you guys have dabbled in StarCraft or StarCraft 2, but I know I recently did last year. After all this time, so I had to wait 14 years for that. But
well,
better late than never.
We've talked about this.
Yeah, and I don't know. You guys are fans of StarCraft or in general?
Easy. Yep.
Yep.
It's one of my original PC games that I got into, so I'm a big fan of this series.
I can say I literally never touched StarCraft at all.
You're not a big RTS guy, though, right? I don't see you playing RTS.
No, not too much. I mean, I just never really got around to it, especially since around the time I was still playing Warcraft 3.
Oh, all right.
As far as RTSs go, Warcraft 3 is a big one for me.
For me, it's all about the degeneracy. The only thing I know about StarCraft or anything like that is the porn, and because especially Ghost. Did that even come out? Dude, really?
Oh, over there.
I'm just saying it's giving us good porn. It's up there. It's up there.
All right.
I bet
Anyway,
it plays good.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. Maybe because, especially 14 years later, I feel that like it did a really good job kind of capturing the attention for what it is. Because I was gonna say like back in the day, in the old day, um, RTS doesn't do a very good job of I think keeping a lot of people's attention unless like it's a cutscene like this. But I was rather surprised of how it grabbed my attention while I was playing the game. Right, like there was things happening in the story. There was like narration and narratives happening while during gameplay, and this was very common in Warcraft 3, right? So it's just in this one to see it more prevalent was pretty
I mean,
interesting.
it was the next generation of RTS for Blizzard. I mean, everything that they were cutting their teeth on for years up to this point was those cinematics, the storytelling, like everything got better and better, and then they went back to revisit, StarCraft, which is a super beloved franchise of theirs and one of my
Yeah.
favorite, like personally, growing up. Like this is one of the ones. So, like you said, the fact that they dived so heavily into like story and cinematic with this and like really fleshed out the world and the characters that we knew and gave them like motivations and more than just like the lines you get on the like in engine cutscenes. Like
Yeah.
they did what they needed to. It was just so crazy to think that it just wasn't. I mean, you having played it so much later, like it was good, but was just like the market at the time, the way they marketed it, like it just didn't sell like the first one.
Yeah.
Or even
This-
each one after that, didn't feel the same.
This
Honest
could have
question.
been yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hand raised, teacher. Yes, the lunch lady man is saying, teacher. So is this one with the Zerglings, Zerg Rush, KKK, and all that?
They
Is that-
both have Zerglings.
Okay, yeah. 'Cause I know the meme, Zerg Rush, all that.
Thank you, Duder.
I'm glad you contributed. All right, awesome.
Duder is literally our 4chan in chat right now.
Yeah,
We don't say the name. I never say the name.
4chat.
They know me
4chat.
though. They probably
They
know me.
know me.
They know
That
they
means you're on a
should know
list
me, but
somewhere,
whatever.
and I don't want to look that up. Ring the bell.
It's I think this game's release I think really put, I don't know if just a guess, but like I feel like it really put it was passing the baton to the new Blizzard because Blizzard hasn't really been the same since StarCraft 2. But I do remember watching Pirate Software talk about this game, how this game was like the sales for this game was only a fraction of what they sold that skin on World of Warcraft. That skin that they sold on World of Warcraft was like triple the sales of this game of how much money it made. And so, if I was a big wig, I'd be like, that makes sense. We'll put more skins in World of Warcraft, and then let's forget about StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 3, right? So,
Well, I mean, part of that is just because of the cost to develop something like that is so much cheaper for sure. I mean, I remember when it first came out, like the game was difficult, like more than the first game was to get through it. And it doesn't help that it came out at a time when, let's be honest, like free-to-play models and monetization was just starting to take off. Like MOBAs became the rage right when this game came out. So say what you will about classic, RTS games and going cinematic. Like this was the time when things started changing. Like MOBAs made everything more accessible. When this was less accessible, there was something else out there for people that was way more social, way more casual. Because that was correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure when this first launched, StarCraft 2 first launched, there wasn't a lot of like community features. They had to add that later. I forget. It's been a while since I played them.
Yeah, it was pretty sparse from what I remember. It was just like the first one where there's like multiplayer and then the story, but then they added a bunch of stuff later on. And then what's really unique is that each game is its own game, but expands on the game previously before that,
which is really cool. I mean, that's why we like Brood War so much. It's like I'm all about that, but I think it's just like the company abandoned it. It's like everything we've talked about for the past like 41 podcasts before this, right, was just about corporations, the need for chasing certain trends, the business decisions behind them. They gave a lack of support to it, so maybe it couldn't spread its wings, no pun intended, with this one. But yeah, like it faced an uphill battle at a time when the industry was changing. I mean, we see it so much more rapidly in the industry right now. Like every year there's a new trend, something new, something else is failing. Like everything that's going on with like what we were just joking about in the Discord, which if you haven't join. It's awesome. We got fans in there. Talking about how for some reason DC is deciding to do another live service game despite
Yeah,
Suicide Squad not doing
it's
well.
so
Like,
wild, dude.
okay, sure. How many times? What did Andre say? Like, how many times do we need to teach you this
How many
lesson?
times-
Old
Like,
man, yeah.
yeah.
And all you gotta add is me going, old man yells at cloud. Like,
Right.
why you?
Damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just a shame that like we're chasing trends, but it is what it is. Like we adapt or whatever. But yeah, I
Shareholders.
thoroughly enjoyed this game for what it was, and even 14 years later, like I said, I still enjoyed it. And man, I mean, I'm watching this right now. I'm like, this game still looks pretty good for what a 14-year-old
Yeah.
game.
It stood the test of time. It's a solid game.
And Blizzard like was also, I don't know if it's true now, but they were also good at making your games run on a potato, right? So they were pretty good, like as far as like optimization goes. They were pretty on it. So I don't know how it is now, but
Yeah, which is why it's still so much like a funny meme with like WoW Classic and Season of Discovery coming out. Like people playing a game that's maybe a little bit nicer in 2004, but they're playing it on their like 4090. So like, I just upgraded so I could play this game that's like 21 years old.
and that just shows you it's like graphics can only take you so far, but if it's a fun game, it's a fun game. That's pretty cool. Shout out to Blizzard and the OG classic Warcraft. Some other notable games that come out on the 27th. A game that needs to be maybe there is a sequel. I just don't know about it. But Jade Cocoon. When's the last time you heard about Jade Cocoon's Story of the Tamamayu on the PlayStation in 1999? So that was a JRPG that just got overshadowed back then. I call this the Smash Brothers of SNK. The Neo Geo Battle Coliseum in the arcades came out in 2005. Sengoku Basara 2, we've talked about that in the last couple episodes. Came out on the PS2 in 2006 in Japan. If you're a 3DS kind of person or a DS person, The World Ends With You on the DS in 2007 in Japan. And then the sequel, Neo, The World Ends With You, came out on the Switch on the PS4 in 2021. So that was like, 16 years later? Yeah, around there. My personal favorite in the Warrior series, Samurai Warriors 5, came out on 2021 on the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. That was kind of like the general releases at the time. And the kind of like the reboot / retelling / kind of like fun side story, Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons came out and everything. In 2023. I think you've seen Ace play that on this channel, so if you follow Ace, you can definitely check that playthrough. But Ace, I see a note here for Basara 2. I know you love talking about this game, so
Hooligan's Takeover. Ace, tell him about Sengoku Basara Dos.
Well, last week I talked a lot about samurai heroes and Sumeragi, but two, kind of following Capcom's trend of part 2, the second numbered iteration of a franchise being where the game really starts to hit its stride. Sengoku Basara was definitely another one of those that started coming into its own too. It introduced Masamune's right-hand man, Kojiro Katakura, and it just in those characters alone, it showcased like the difference between Masamune's more hot-blooded sword fighting style with wielding like 6 swords at the same time, whereas Kojiro was definitely the more seemingly the more traditional calm, cool, and collected samurai.
oh yeah,
But-
he was my main character in Boss Rush.
Right. But he does have a move where he kind of just throws his temper to the wind and just says, you know what, no more of this samurai shit. My name is Kazuma Kiryu, and I'm going to start kicking and headbutting you.
I'm mad.
Just goes straight down. It's insane. But you also see like some of the more, the more vibrant, more animated, the more anime style of character and, visual design that starts, making its way into the overall visual palette of Sengoku Basara. Like 2 was just where it really established itself as a franchise, and then it continued to build. Unfortunately, the West didn't get to because of the localization for 1.
What? So Double Kings was actually Basara 1?
Yep.
I thought I heard or read somewhere that they don't really count that as a Basara game, but I guess that makes sense. I wouldn't count it either.
Isn't this the one where
Double Kings was a heavily US localized
Yeah,
version
and
of
then
Basara.
we were just talking about localization. So there you go. That's perfect.
Really quick, hey, Face, is this the one where they gender bent one of the characters and I was in love with that hoe for like a whole month? The rifle woman.
That was 3.
Oh, my bad. Yes, Nick?
Play the noise.
Oh,
yeah, that makes sense.
Wrong one, but I'll take it.
I'll accept it.
That was 3 where they introduced the female Makoichi.
That's the one. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Basara 2. All right, moving on to the next. All right. So on this 728 here, Shadow Hearts from the New World. Arguably, it is a sequel to the other Shadow Hearts game, but they don't do numbers. They just do different subtitles. Or is this the third one? I can't remember.
That's the third one.
This is the third one. What was the second one?
The second one was Shadow Hearts Covenant.
Covenant, that's right. Yeah, see, they don't do numbers, they do different titles, subtitles. So this one here, I don't know too much about it. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and just say like, yeah, I love Shadow Hearts. I actually played the first one and I loved it for what it was. But when you have limited funds and you have to choose, I went with I stuck with the Final Fantasy games, right?
Fair enough. I can actually talk a little bit about it since I
go for it, man.
Played and owned all 3 of the Shadow Hearts games.
That's awesome.
From the New World is again it's a sequel to Shadow Hearts Covenant. It takes place. God, I want to say it takes place maybe like 5 or 6 years after the events of Covenant, because one of the side characters that you run into like early in the game, the assistant that's working with Johnny in his detective agency, is one of the previous antagonists from 1 that actually teams up with the main character, that teams up with Yuri in 2. So there's definitely a sort of narrative through line with Johnny's partner Lenny.
So it is like a true sequel to the
actually Scared Tom.
That implies there's a Tom that's not actually scared.
The NPC names in the Shadow Hearts series are just absolutely hilarious.
It's just is that like oh my god, what is that? It's Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer. Is that Tom Sawyer? He's got the little hat too.
Fat thug.
For the folks that played Expedition 33, again, if you go back to the Shadow Hearts games, you will definitely see, the DNA, the building blocks.
That was aggressive. Fat thug. That's great.
That's what I was just chuckling at. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
much HP does Fat Thug have?
Less due to heart disease.
Oh, there you go. There's the wheel. The wheel of fortune keeps turning. So there.
Yeah.
The wheel of fortune.
Yeah, From the New World was a good deal more lighthearted compared to the first 2. That's for sure.
That's good. I think we need a collection. But who actually owns Shadow Hearts right now? Is it Konami?
Ace. Oh,
don't know right offhand.
Because the box art said Xseed, and Xseed is definitely still a thing. They are owned by Marvelous Games.
Yeah.
Right? So like if they were, but I think the first one was like a Konami game. It was really weird. This game got passed around. It was, or at least the license got passed around, right? So not too sure, to be honest with you.
It's owned by Universal Entertainment Corporation, known
What
as
the heck?
Ruse Corporation.
A ruse. I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah, it's a Japanese company primarily involved in the manufacturing of pachinko, slot machines, and other gaming products.
That sounds like Konami. It smells of Konami.
And there are Shadow Hearts themed pachinko machines.
That's great, man. To be kind of like this is your legacy ends here in a pachinko machine when you're a video game. It's kind of crazy.
But again, Yaru chick on there. That's the real question.
But again, keep in mind though, there are there is a developer out there that's trying to work on a spiritual successor to Shadow Hearts.
That's
I
cool.
think the name of the game is called Penny Blood.
Penny Blood. That's cool.
There's
Chat, if you guys know anything about Penny Blood, put it in chat.
I believe there is a Kickstarter for that one currently.
The main character looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist. I mean, I'm just saying he looks like a mix of Titus and Zidane. Johnny. He's got that Letterman jacket too. Man, what is this game about? That's all I gotta say. There's a lot of stuff happening here. I'm confused.
You gotta jiggle it up a little bit.
All right, Ace, you got some homework to do, man. You gotta play this on stream and explain and lore of Shadow Hearts. Shadow Hearts Saturdays.
Cowardly Nancy?
You know what?
That's right.
I usually stream for 5 hours on Saturday. That's enough time to actually.
There you go. I
try
love
and
that.
put some time in on it.
All right, some other games that have come out on the 28th here. World Heroes had released on the arcade in 1992 in Japan, and man, this is a wild fighting game. But speaking of fighting games, this one was hot garbage. Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22 came out on the PlayStation in 1995. I actually imported that game, and it was awful. It was terrible.
Same.
It was so bad. It is dog water. That's all I can say. A game that's not bad, King of Fighters 97, also had come out in the arcade in 1997. Ironically, Shadow Hearts. No, this is the same one. Never mind. Another fighting game, Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax Ignition, came out in the arcade in 2015 in Japan. That I owned on the PS4. I had it imported because the characters were all based off like anime and manga, and it was very interesting. It's very niche for sure. Not a fighting game. Tokiden 2 had come out on the PS3 and PS4 and Vita, which is the sequel to the Tokiden, which is the Japanese mythological monster hunter game. Destroy All Humans, released on the PC, PS4, Xbox One in 2020. Grounded, which I do want to play, hopefully with friends. PC and Xbox One in 2020. And a really good fighting game, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. 2023 in Japan. And I know Venom's in the chat. He's been playing that, and I've been playing that a little bit here and there, and that was pretty fun. But yeah, this screen right here, man, awful. It's awful. I'm triggered by this game. Can't stand it. Because like as a kid, you're like, oh, Dragon Ball. It can't be bad. Can't be bad. No, it's bad. It's terrible. It can't like the Super Nintendo Dragon Ball games were awesome. I love those games. The Hyper Butoden one on the Super Nintendo was really good, right? And then of course you're like PlayStation, awesome. They made one called Dragon Ball Z Legends, which was like an arena fighter, was awesome. This one had better graphics, was terrible. Hey, look at that. Oh my god, this game just makes me angry. Like this makes Dragon Ball GT like A+.
That's terrible.
And GT was
terrible.
Bad. GT
That's
is
horrible.
So bless Arc System Works for giving us Fighter Z, because we had to deal with some terrible Dragon Ball Z 2D fighting games. I would add 2D fighting games. Anyway, my rant over. Let's move on to the next, which is the 29th. All right. And I wanted Nick to be here for this because he's my dude when it comes to Sega games. But Police Knots had released on the NEC PC 98 in 1994 in Japan, but I think also had a release on the Saturn and the PlayStation as well. The art was totally different though, as far as the cover art goes for the Police Knots. Of course, Konami, and they also made Snatcher, right? Before this game. Don't know too much about Police Knots because I know Snatcher was basically just Blade Runner on that, on console.
Yeah.
But what was this one about? Does anybody know?
So I was actually going to step up on this, but it just dawned on me. Wait, this isn't Snatcher. So yeah, you're right. This is Police. That wasn't my bad.
But it makes sense, right? Because it gives you Snatcher vibes, the art, like the font and everything.
Yeah. This one I love. It's known for like one of the screens is using like a little bit in memes, but also I know it because I had that like cyberpunk like wave aesthetic kind of like thing that I always love. But if I remember right, it was like an astronaut that was like found in cryo sleep, and it was like reawakened later kind of thing. So it's kind of like this graphic novel, like graphic adventure game that I remember playing. But like, let's see if I can pull up this tab.
Here's
Like this image, I recognize. Like this is
the
from
one. This is the one I
Policenauts.
had here. I was like,
There we go.
yeah, this is the one that I was like, okay, I know this game now because like the guy with is Spike Spiegel with the mullet, right?
Yeah.
And then because I kind of looked at these two as Spike and Vicious at the time, but the other one I didn't know what it was. Like I never really saw that art. I always saw this art on the PlayStation. So
Another reason I know about it is a friend of mine is a massive Metal Gear fan, and this is actually connected to the Metal Gear games.
no way.
Yeah, it's a fictional anime within the Metal Gear universe.
I was gonna
So
mention
wait,
about
so
the-
people in Metal Gear watch this anime? Is that what that means? Oh, okay. So I guess
When
what's
Snake
his
has
face?
downtime, man.
No, the guy that he's like, it's just like one of my Japanese animes. That guy, he watches this.
Otacon, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
Otacon.
gonna jump on that because I just beat the ever-loving crap out of Death Stranding 2. And I'm just saying, it's Kojima. If it's a Kojima title, you know, Policenauts, Snatcher, you're gonna see a reference or a meme somewhere regarding this, you know. So yeah, it's Kojima. Bless his autism. Period.
Man, let's be real. The guy just wants to be a movie director at this point.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started. You know,
100%.
Death Stranding 2, first off, amazing. And yeah, you can tell with every game he ever is on. Yeah, this man wants to do movies so badly, but I don't think they would be as good. I think he is the auteur we need. He is the artist in the exact location, in the exact technology he needs to do his vision. Because my God, dude, Death Stranding 2, by the way.
What you're talking about, I'm literally playing it right now.
Baby girl in the back playing it right now.
Speaking of, Echo the Dolphin came out the same day.
Now this I will jump on. Echo the Dolphin
I know.
was an amazing game. It was.
All right, hold on. Let me read off the rest of the games
My
here,
bad.
Captain.
Sorry.
All right. Speaking of underwater creatures, Seaman also had released on the Dreamcast in 1999 in Japan. How come you didn't jump on that one, huh?
All I remember is getting depressed.
All right. We also have Mega Man X Command Mission, which I was like, this game's so sick. It's like JRPG with Mega Man. I'm in. That was so good. Soul Calibur 4 on the PS3 and 360. Sengoku Basara Samurai Heroes making its debut in the West on the PS3 and Wii in 2010. It says Japan, but we all know it came out here as well. Virtual Fighter 5 Final Showdown came out in the arcade in 2010 in Japan. Speaking of Sega, Dragon Quest 9, what is that? No, 11 Echoes of an Elusive Age on the 3DS and PS4 in 2017 in Japan, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 came out on the Switch in 2022. All right, tell us about this amazing dolphin game.
Well, no, it's just a wonderful game. If you like dolphins, if you like
dolphins,
it's time to go flog dolphin. You know,
like
you go bust
Bell
with
dolphins.
jellyfish. You go have fun with your dolphin friends, and then suddenly Necronomiconic Lovecraftian shit starts hitting.
Is it like Cthulhu stuff, or is it aliens?
Yeah, yes, it's actually in the game. Just like it's and it hits
like
you out of
Eldritch
nowhere.
horror or just aliens?
No, Eldritch horror and aliens. That's the best part about this game. You would never know this just from looking at this video right here that you got.
Yeah,
up.
right. Yeah,
yeah. But I mean,
No,
and the game starts with you playing with your friends with the Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah.
You know, and then suddenly, you know, you start learning more about what's going on. You start getting more into the game. Really good game design, really good puzzles, so to speak. And I hated anything where you were too deep in the caves underwater because you have to breathe air because you're a dolphin. Now, it's also because of this game that I learned that dolphins are horrific rapists, but that's because of later on. When I started, I was like, man, Echo the Dolphin, that was such a great game. I started learning more about dolphins, and it's like, oh my God, shut up. Oh my God, I should have never learned more about dolphins. Like, I should just left it with that old TV show. You know, it's like, yeah, these are the great ones. And then it's like, oh no, they do what to fish? Oh no.
You know what's worse than a dolphin? A duck.
What?
No, look it up. I don't want to talk about it in this channel, but look up what a duck does.
Dolphins.
But yeah, it's here's one of the things that I have an issue with this game. Like if I was a 14-year-old kid, and I saw, oh cool, Echo the Dolphin. I don't really like underwater creatures, but I do love exploring and like maybe aliens. Do you think I would have bought this game?
I think based on what you saw, you would have bought this game, and then you would have been horrified later on. It would have hit you when you were not expecting.
I
'Cause like
think
said-
the problem is if I was into Aliens and I played this game, I'd be like, oh, this game's so much cooler. But if
Yes.
I wasn't, that's the problem.
You'd be crying in your closet.
Because
just in the
and
closet.
you can argue this is like a Metroidvania, right?
I wouldn't say Metroidvania. It's just a good adventure game, action adventure even, but more adventure than action from what I remember.
So you don't
And I
get abilities that you need to have before you search other areas.
You do get upgrades, but from what I remember, it was very linear. It's also been a while though.
You never learned about the aliens.
It was it's implied, James. It's implied throughout the game. There's a couple of times where you learn, about not from the marketing, but it's definitely. I mean, either way, it's a game that when the twist hits, it's like, oh my god, and it's good. It's good.
Okay, well, I'm actually now I want to look up Echo the Dolphin lore because there's much more to this game.
It's a good game. I really wish it's just one of those games where I think it would do well with a 3D redo. Just
I mean, didn't they do a 3D redo on the Dreamcast?
I haven't a clue. I'm not gonna lie.
This guy is joking. Get out of here.
Some of us were busy working 3 jobs, so at the time.
That's your fault. Nobody's
It
fault.
actually was.
All right, Ace. Mega Man X command mission. I'm gonna pull it up here. Tell us about it.
So
tell the people what they need to know.
Like you mentioned earlier, like if there was one thing that would immediately drew my attention to the game, it's like I literally saw it in a GameStop and I'm like, Mega Man X command mission. What is this? And then I picked it up, looked at the instruction manual, and I'm like, is this an RPG?
Yeah.
What?
Right.
Immediately bought it.
And then instead of going like, ew, we go, oh, this is cool. That's the feeling.
Because command mission actually takes all of the best elements from Mega Man X7, expands on those, actually expands more on Axel's backstory as well, while setting up a sort of in-between adventure between X7 and X8.
Mm-hmm. So this is in between the story of 7 and 8?
Yep.
That's cool.
My only problem is that they didn't keep X's armor design for 8.
Yeah, I noticed that. They gave him like the laser cape right here.
Yeah.
And I think that's a way for them to distinguish it's a unique armor for the game. I get it. But they should did this one have costumes though? Like you can put the classic costume on them or no?
I don't remember.
I feel like there was some like classic ones where you can like put them in a canonical costume. From what I recall, but yeah, you had to like beat the game or put a code in or something like that. So, something along those lines, one of the Easter eggs. But yes, one of those things where we're like, wow, it's an RPG, and it's actually pretty fun.
They were able to actually like pretty seamlessly integrate, the basic combat from the Mega Man X games into a turn-based RPG format.
My guess is they looked at Mario RPG and was like, we could do that with Mega Man.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. And here's the thing, too, though. I wouldn't mind if they did 2D pixel Mega Man RPG. I think that would still work out.
And I mean, heck, the additional characters that you could get as well, because it wasn't just X, Zero, and Axel. Yeah. I mean, there was also Cinnamon, the medic. Let's see, Cinnamon, Marino, Massimo, and Joker.
And then they also expanded on the world of like Reploids and like Sigma and stuff. So that was it's really interesting. It's very rare that we take an action game and turn it RPG. And we're like, what? Right? Can you remember? And you may know this, Duder. Like when they introduced Like a Dragon, right? And you're like, oh, it's a turn-based RPG. Like that's weird. It's a beat 'em up, right? So it's kind of like that. You get that feeling at first. You're like, oh, why did they do that? And you play it and you're like, oh, it's actually pretty fun.
And once you find out why they did that, because it's literally baked into the story. It's baked into the character.
Yeah,
that's how he sees the world. That's what makes it so good.
Yep. And that's even a next level. That's to me, that's awesome creative writing and making it make sense, right? Like that's all they had to do. Like the way he sees the world is this, and now you're playing it as him because you're the character. And it's stuff like that. I think it's like they just need to add that, pay those details, right? So, but yeah. And hopefully, like this is this part of any collection right now? Do you recall, Ace?
I don't think so.
Like, I don't think it's part of the Mega Man collection at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's part of any of the X collections.
Unfortunate. All good. All right, move on to the next day here on the 30th. Star Ocean Second Story, arguably the best Star Ocean in the series, had released on the PlayStation in 1998. I purposely used the more subtle Japanese art because the US art was like way more. I think it was way cooler than this. And I'll pull that up here in a second. One second. See, Star Ocean and tell. Oh yeah, I guess. I know you've been playing this. So why is it this one that you love the most?
Actually, the one I've been playing recently was Star Ocean 6, the Divine Force. But this one is definitely like far and away the most beloved entry in the series. And
well, they even did like that remake, right? This one.
Yeah, part of it is because it's the first Star Ocean game that most folks in the West have actually gotten their hands on.
Mm-hmm.
The original was on the Super NES, it was Japan only, but when this hit in '98, it was just that combination of the pre-rendered 3D backgrounds plus the real-time action combat. How your character's techniques would evolve and get stronger the more you use them. And then on top of that, you got your two playable protagonists. You've got the different endings based on what you can do in the private actions. You've got a relatively solid story. And then, of course, the remake that came out a couple years ago.
Fire.
Absolutely.
Fire.
Just
pull up.
You could toast some marshmallows on this bad.
I'll pull up the OG over here. Let's see here. Dude, have you played any Star Ocean games?
Believe it or not, no. I know about Star Ocean because of Ace. Like literally everything I know is because of him, and that's not a bad thing either because it seems like a really good game, a really good set of games. But like I was going to, and I'm not going to lie, sometimes I discard jokes in my head because they're not funny enough. And I was like, Star Ocean 6, damn. And then it dawned on me, wait, no, I played Final Fantasy 15, and I will defend that to my final breath. Because we ride the fire around here, thank you. And was it 15 where they were? Yeah, 15 is the one with the kaiju battles, Ace? Yeah.
That's 16.
Yeah, it was 15.
16.
Oh, it was 16?
Kaiju battles, right?
16. Yeah. 16 is the one then, yeah. Oh wait, was 15 the one with fucking Noctis, Bacchus, and the
boy band group?
The first half of that game is good.
I mean, that's a different conversation, but
yeah,
I'll jump on that one later. But yeah, I'm playing the first Departure, which is the remake of the Super Nintendo one that they made on the PSP. And if this is like twice as better than that one, I can see why it's been like. Because I'm actually enjoying the first one already. I watched my roommate play this game. He's having a fun time playing this game. Kind of reminds me of the Tales games, right? Honest with you. Probably like inspired by by each other.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa. But yeah, Star Ocean seems to be a pretty popular title in this Squeenix environment. Some other games here for the 30th. Solomon's Key, which was the tidbit for the intro for this episode on the NES, came out in 1986 in Japan. And if you guys don't know what Solomon's Key is, I'll put a here real quick. It's actually have you guys ever played Lode Runner?
I want to say yes, but not off the top of my head. It's been a minute.
So we're talking like OG Lode Runner.
Oh, wait a minute! I did play this.
So this is the Atari one. This is let's go like Super or Nintendo.
Yeah.
So your only ability in Lode Runner was to disintegrate the floors, right? So you can cross things. Isn't that the guy from Dig Dug? See what he's doing? He's disintegrating the floors, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a puzzle game where you control the platform. Okay.
Which is certainly interesting. You've never seen a game like that before.
Yeah. Right. Solomon's Key was the opposite. You were making more platforms. And I definitely played this when I was a kid. Definitely brought back some memories. Right. So then he's gonna build platform, jump. Right. So it's it's very similar to Load Runner. Right. Rip off and duplicate. These games are all the same.
No, I would argue that this is actually innovation. This is innovation, like right before your eyes. Not only, yeah, they took the same material as, just deleting the floor underneath you, but they also give you the ability to create floors and gives you different strategies that way. See what I mean?
Yeah, and well, what did we just talk about? Competition breeds innovation, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So here's a sample of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Solomon's Key. I just wanted to show you guys that because I know some. I played some really obscure Nintendo games when I was a kid because, like I had access to the local rental store because their games were like $2 to rent, right? So it was super cheap, and they had like everything, so it was great. So I was just playing A through Z over there. A game that we'll probably never see ever again released is Fat Princess on the PS3. And I'll go ahead and because I know not a lot of people know about this one.
I know the controversy.
Right. I mean, the name itself is kind of like oof. Right. But this was a download only game, but it was basically like you collect food as quickly as possible and you feed it to your princess as a team, right? But then you can also like screw up your opponents by like messing with them. So it's a little bit like Fall Guys with like a mission, right? So, and I don't know if you guys played it on PS3. I know I did for a little bit.
It's like an evolved hungry hippos.
Yeah, pretty much. But we don't want to offend any princesses here. But yeah, it's this, like I said, this was fun at the time. It was thematic, but at the same time, it's like I don't think we'll ever. They may change it to something else, and they may reskin it to something else, right? But as far as the time, I don't think we'll ever this game again.
At least it's unique.
And I don't even think they carrying her. That's funny. I don't even think what do you call this? Like you're not able to download this anymore, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. This is PS3 only. I don't see this on PS4 at all. But anyway, other games that would come out: King of Fighters '96 and T6 in the arcade in Japan. Chasm on the PC and Mac. That was like another Metroidvania-ish game. And my choice of game, and I'll talk about this after the King of Fighters '96, was Narco Terror on the PS3. So let's pull up some King of Fighters '96. So why this one over '97? I'm curious why you chose this one over '97.
Why this one over '97?
Yeah, because you didn't highlight '97, but you highlighted this one.
Well, I highlighted this one because '96 was actually like, I think the best way to describe it is that '96 was kind of my reintroduction to KO.
Oh, that's not King of Fighters.
Because I played, I played a little bit of '94. Played '95 on the PlayStation. Really got a kick out of that. But '96 was the one that I had played the most in the arcades.
Pause real quick. I want to admire the pixel perfect graphics of this game. This is the character select screen, and I think in 1997 it would blow my freaking mind, or '96 it would blow my freaking mind how top notch this pixel quality of a fight. There's some games now that don't look like this. So let's talk about how amazing this is, right? This was the cleanest pixel art I've ever seen, and they only got better over time.
True. Hey, look, Ralph and Clark before the beefening.
Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with the beef. All right.
Yes, there is. Anyway, that's a whole
you don't talk about Chang and Choi.
I don't know. No, because now Ace has heard me scream about this before. Ralph and Clark were my boys. I carry warriors till I die, till the blood leaves my body, my nigga. However, they at one point in time, everybody got beefed. I think it was Falcon, the Falcon version of King of Fighters. I don't remember which one it is.
It was 13. They got
13. Ace 13. Yeah.
And
yeah, and they got beefed. That's cool. I am completely cool with that. The next one after the Falcon arc, suddenly everybody got de-beefed. Okay, fine. Ralph and Clark remained steroidal. Why? I don't understand it, and I still to this day do not understand. Why would you do that to my boys? And it's not even that I don't like the beef. It's like whatever. You know, hey, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure before the debeefing, that's my jam. Of course, after a post, I'm cool with that too. But at least it's not like they don't got two sore thumbs sticking out. Like everyone else, like got the memo except for them. Is that what happened? Did they get Team Sports did it with the invitation? For those who don't know, Team Sports always gets like jacked from their invitations by some new team or whatever. That's how new Godface team got.
Is that the meme? That's why they're never invited.
Exactly, they were invited.
Their invitation always gets stolen.
Exactly,
That's
but
fine.
no, sorry, no, it's just why did they do my boys like this?
No, you're good. Ace, go ahead.
But yeah, 90. But yeah, again, 96 was just like kind of my reintroduction to KOF, and again, part of it was just going to the bowling alley. I roll up in the arcade. I'm like, ooh, there's an SNK machine. Let's see what games are on there. King of Fighters 96. Hold on, 96, and then the moment I start the game up and I see that character select screen, it's just like you said, like that, the sprite work and just like how unique each character looked and how robust each team was. Just like it immediately drew me in. And then, of course, the soundtrack.
Oh, KOF soundtrack's always popping.
God.
It is definitely like a stylish fighter. Like Street Fighter is very like street fighting, like they didn't really have an identity till 3, in my opinion.
I was gonna bring 3, yeah.
Because like 3 was like they turned hip hop, right? A little bit. And then 4 was like back to like, the modern day version of Street Fighter 2, like the feeling of it, right? And then I don't know what they were doing with 5, honestly. but 6 is back to the 3 style, right? The hip hop culture, the street fighting, right? So like that's the vibe you got from those fighting games. Like King of Fighters was always like you pick a stage and it was its own theme. You pick like, Team Japan, it's pretty popping, like it felt young and fresh. But you pick like Team Mexico, right? And it's like it's more like it's more disciplined, more clean, like it's just every team in King of Fighters always feels like, it's their own theme,
And you can definitely say that, again, going back to the soundtrack, 96 was also one of the first games where I actually, found the arranged version of the soundtrack. And it's like, wait, what is this arranged soundtrack? What are we talking about here? And then it's like live instruments, rearranged songs, all of them sounding just
oh yeah. I mean,
absolutely stunning.
Team Fatal Fury always had the awesomest like jazz, like pump jazz.
Southtown.
Yeah, Southtown.
That's why.
Yeah, that's Southtown jazz, bruh. Yeah, that's what it is.
Team
Ace and Saka always.
Jazz, Team Japan, started with kind of the downtown funk in 94 and 95, then just kicked it up to some straight up hard rock for 96.
Cheer.
You'll notice that I tend to use Team Japan's 96 theme a lot.
Man, apparently.
Oh, sorry, to bust on chat real quick. Diegos, I understand. I always played the basketball guy back when I had a chance, and then it's like Team Sports getting jacked every time, and it's a nothing but love, my bro.
Hey, I too miss Team USA.
That's why we go back and play KOF 98.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I think 98 has the most diverse like team like spread, right? There's not a lot of redundancy, but like, man, what happened? Team USA just getting ripped off all the time. They ain't never invited to the cookout.
See,
they get invited to cookout, but then they get jacked. They get jumped. That's the problem.
That's a campaign that we should be starting though. Hashtag bring back Team USA.
Team America, fuck yeah.
KOF 16, we need definitely team. I feel like Team USA and KOF 16 is gonna be totally different though. It's gonna be some MMA fighter.
Right.
So, anyway, my choice for the night was Narco Terror, and here it is on the screen here. So it's basically Smash TV or Total Carnage.
Oh,
right. This was exclusive to the PS3 and like I think the PC, and this game was hilarious. It was not good. It was like 1990s action movie. This is the starting menu screen.
I already love it. I already love this.
This is why I liked it so much, because it's just unapologetic unapologetically just aggro.
It's so stupidly macho. I love this testosterone.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And then you're like your guy is like John McNarco like 1, and the other one's Jim McNarco 2. Like he's just like red suited, same guy, right? No plot whatsoever. Just stop the cartel. Yeah, that's all it is. And
Are you bad enough to rescue President Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like bad dudes before bad dudes.
Shouldn't this be after bad dudes?
No, this game's called Batter Dudes. Yeah, look at this. This is wild. Jump. I mean, it's not pretty to look at. The gunplay is kind of man. It's no Helldivers, that's for sure. This guy
But was it fun? That's always the question.
I liked it because it was hot trash. That's I honestly enjoyed the game because of how bad it was and how arcadey it was, right? Because you guys you guys know Total Carnage, right?
Yeah, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is just it reminded me of Total Carnage, and I loved the Total Carnage because of how stupid it was. Because it was just a play on Rambo, right?
I thought it was a play on Running Man.
Well, that's Smash TV.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Total Carnage is the other one. Yeah, I'll show you. So this is it's kind of funny.
I gotta actually look up Narco Terror now. That looks like it's right up my alley. Just like
yeah, look at this
Maximum Carnage bullshit.
I mean, this looks like Smash TV right here.
Max Anarchy, excuse me, Max Anarchy.
But this is Total Carnage.
Ooh.
It's same made by Midway, the same guys, right? Good. I mean, this is why it felt arcadey. Total Carnage. Yeah, so it's like legit, just Rambo and like Predator. Like they were trying to go
with 4 scopes on it.
Yeah,
I don't ever want to hear about AI slop nowadays.
Okay,
shit like this before AI.
Yeah, this was the sequel. Yeah, this was technically the sequel to Smash TV, but like they didn't call it Smash TV; they called it Total Carnage.
Are you sure it's not a sequel to Time Commando? Because this looks like Time Commando.
No, I know what game you're talking about. Totally
yeah.
I think you're like thinking of more of like Soldiers of Fortune.
I reckon.
Yeah, but like even that like little lawnmower car, like the flamethrower, even the graphics look the same as Smash TV, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is kind of what Narco Terror reminded me of when I downloaded it, because there is a demo on the PS3 and the PC, so check that out when you can.
Waves of dudes. Oh, Jack from the bottom. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, it's funny, and then like they're fighting some like hilarious Spaceballs looking dictator, like this windscreen.
Look at this dude.
Are you ready for some racist jokes? So so we got John Rambo and Drake Darkness here, right?
There you go. You suck at this game. You shall never capture me. I will rule the world.
You should use another quarter and try and take me down.
Yeah, isn't this great? Like this is just like the art, the hilarity of it. Like it's just video game McVideo game.
Yeah.
Right? Look at that. All Smash TV players should quit now and flee this machine.
Wow. John Romero's gonna make you his bitch.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Oh snap, dude!
So,
I'd buy that for $1.
That's what I'm saying.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. And this is why I have all my sound bites are for Smash TV.
I love it.
You know,
I never realized that. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's like it's also I'm so speechless, but like you know how you guys love like Anarchy Reigns because it's such a video game. Like this is like the 90s version of that. It's just a video game.
Yeah,
you know, there's no BS. It's just a video.
Just stupid, good testosterone overload. The way everybody wants it at some time.
Well, yeah, Narco Terror, folks. And matter of fact, I think I'll show you guys here. Let's see. We're having lots of fun. If you are curious, I do have a let's play of it because I am silly, and I'll show you guys the link here. It's like one of the last games I played on my PS3 before I switched over to the PS4.
Oh,
and then we founded Too Asian for You.
I'm still
that familiar. Whatever happened to those guys?
This screen though, just all Smash TV players should quit now.
Yeah, imagine playing like you're on your arcade machine, right?
Oh
and this thing shows up. You're like, what is happening?
It's like, wait, I play Smash TV. Oh no.
Yeah, so this was. I'll just show you the intro. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah. Oh, that's where I saw this before. I remember the video. Oh my god. Beautiful. Beautiful.
This was my intro to the video. We're just shooting that guy. Yeah, that's it. Now I'll show you that, and then that's what I used to do back in the day. Make videos like that.
Beautiful. Fucking.
Yeah, you guys
no, I applaud you, sir. I applaud that. That's some memorable goodness right there.
This takes me back to our review of Haze.
Yeah. That was my like YouTube days where I was like pumping out 2 videos a day.
Oh man.
Anyway, on the 31st of July, the legendary Game Boy released in 1989, making handheld gaming accessible to those that could afford it, because I could not. It brought us a monochrome screen in like ooze green, but you were able to play Nintendo quality games in the palm of your hand, right?
Nintendo quality.
Yeah, using only 4. Is that 4? Or yeah, 4 AA batteries. That's right. That's right. All right. Who owned a Game Boy at the when it came out or whenever?
Not me.
Not me. This counted as a console in my house, so I was like, "You got to sell your Nintendo if you want a Game Boy." I was like, "Nah, that's a terrible deal."
I had the Game Gear. I had the Game Gear. Sega.
6 AA batteries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to plug that motherfucker in and just never play it anymore. I had the battery backup though, and you might get an extra hour out of it. With
you were balling when you were a kid. You had everything Sega.
No, I was lucky. That was a luck based thing.
Were you?
I had kind of a child soldier past.
Any kid that had a Game Gear in their house was pretty rich, in my opinion.
Nope. Oh, we were broke
because they were a handheld game, console, and it was a color. I was like, whoa, you got to be.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. No beyond that. But no, I'm fairly certain that my dad got it from a crackhead at the time. This is in California in like 1990 something. So I'm fairly certain, like I said, I was lucky to have gotten that. I mean, I was still busting on the, oh God, I think Sega Genesis at the time. Uh-oh, oops, something went wrong. Try reloading the page.
Oh, what happened?
Am I getting this message? You guys get? Oh,
I think that's only you.
Oh, damn it. It's probably my, oh, no, it's both of us.
I'm not getting anything.
The man trying to stop us from
just refresh.
No, anyway,
I can still hear you guys. I can still see you guys.
Oh, okay. No, I'll be right back.
Oh, and then there was one chat. There's just me. There were actually like 2 other games that came out with the Game Boy, and I'll name them off real quick here. It was Super Mario Land came out with it. Tetris, as you see here, bundled with the I miss days when games were bundled with the consoles. And oddly enough, I think it was Baseball. Baseball for the Game Boy was released also the same day. So yeah, got Baseball, got Mario, and a Tetris game. Not bad. Not bad.
I originally, like, the first time I had a Game Boy, it was, my parents had gotten it for me, and this was like, a little bit before, some semi-tragedy struck because, my parents, had wound up heading out to LA, out to the Northridge area around.
Oh.
Yeah.
During the earthquake?
Uh-huh.
Ooh. For those who don't know, Northridge earthquake is a very infamous earthquake that hit California during the 90s? Yeah, something like that. Oof.
Yeah, it hit in 91, and
that was a big one. I remember that one.
Oh yeah, the big one.
And mom and dad wound up getting, basically caught up in that. So they were, so while we were we were in San Bernardino, so we were 65 miles away, and they didn't have any way to actually make that trip, and they didn't have any money to try and get on a Greyhound or anything, so they were basically stuck out in LA County helping with the relief efforts. They were homeless for a time during that whole incident. It was nuts. But beforehand, mom and dad actually had some decent income, and they they got us a Game Boy, and we had Tetris, we had Mario Land, but it was my second time around, in 94, 95, when my uncle had wound up getting a Game Boy. That was when I was really able to sit down and start, playing the games and start messing around with the system itself. And that was where we had stuff like Metroid 2, The Return of Samus, we had Kirby's Dream Land, of course, Mario Land, Tetris, and baseball, actually.
Baseball.
So we pretty much had like the starting lineup for the Game Boy, plus some of the, really
They hooked you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
So it's your fault the Northridge earthquake hit then. You got these games, Ace, and then the big one hit, and suddenly your parents ducking and dodging crackheads and mutants like it's Escape from LA.
Or Alien Storm on the Sega Genesis. Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I did not have one. I do remember seeing it at Toys R Us, and I was like this as a kid. I want it. and then mom was like, "No, gotta sell your Nintendo."
Oh my God.
I was like,
every time you tell us about this story, it's a part of my heart just goes out to you, bro. Like,
it's all good. Look behind me. Do you think I need their approval?
True. Good point.
My mom, I think the last time I think I was video chatting when she saw the ground. She was like, "What is that back there?" and here you go, chat. Ready? She goes, "Is that trash?"
Oh!
And I was like, she wasn't trying to be mean. She's old, right?
Wow.
I was like, "No, mom." Oh, that's nice. That's all it was. That was it.
You ain't trash diving, are you?
Yeah, it went from trash to video game. Kind of funny.
At least there's that.
But yeah, I didn't have a Game Boy. Wanted one. I think I got it. I eventually got my hands on it because my friends had one, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I want to play it. I want to play Mario Land. I want to play all the Nintendo games that I on the Game Boy. Like the Castlevania games, the Contra games, like Ninja Turtle games. There's so many of them on there, right?" And I was like, "This is kind of alright." Like I rather stick with my Nintendo, right? Like,
Yeah.
When you're a kid, this new Nintendo thing is exciting. Right, then you actually play it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I really have the better one at home."
Except for the Virtual Boy, because that caused headaches.
We talked about that last time, and yeah, it's definitely
missed out on
headache inducing for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure. But yeah, so the latter end of the Nintendo's lifespan, Adventure Island 3 had released the same day as well. Chocobo Racing on the PlayStation, 1999. Unjammer Lammy, if y'all remember that from the PlayStation in 1999.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was like the Parappa the Rapper, but with like rock, I think.
And a female lead, by the way.
Yeah,
very progressive for the time.
That's right. And Monster Rancher Battle Card Episode 2. Ace, I expected you to highlight that one. That's why I put it there.
I almost highlighted this one
on the PlayStation 2000. I want to look this up. What kind of game is
Monster? I haven't played the Battle Card games.
It's Pokemon for older adults or older teens. It's literally
like
Pokemon for
smarter kids.
No, just people who really like the succubus design.
Yeah, you don't got to be smart to play this game.
I mean, it's like anything else. Monster Rancher was the one that they used CDs. Ace, I'm surprised you and I both played the original, but maybe not the Battle Card Episode 1 game.
No,
Monster Rancher.
No, the Monster Rancher games we were playing were just the mainline ones. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. Okay, we talked about that last time as well.
Ah, my bad. Because that's always at the time I was just getting into heavy metal. I was collecting things like Iron Maiden, I had just gotten not the Black CD but Garage Incorporated, and then returned to Garage later on, and Iron Maiden, and it got me such great monsters.
Nice. That's actually pretty cool. Like if that genre of music gives you a certain monster, I think that'd be fun.
What? I'd love to see that, a return to that. I'd love to see a remix or a remaster of that. Like Jesus.
Or like a book. If you scan to Isbin or something, like type in Isbin.
I wish
that'd be kind of fun as well.
You should go get Killer 13 for the strongest monsters you've ever seen in that game.
Speaking of Killer, the next day,
nice.
Killer is Dead came out on August 1st on the PS3 and 360 in 2013. One of my personal favorite games. I actually bought 3 copies of this game. That's true. I bought one to open, I bought one to save, and the other one I was like gonna gift, but I ended up just not doing it anyway. So I have 3 copies of this game. And they're what do you call this? There was like a limited edition of this game too, and that's about 3. Have you guys played Killer Is Dead? I know Chat has.
It looks familiar. It looks so familiar.
So this is a Suda joint game, by the way. And I'll pull up the gameplay here.
Huh.
Majesty of Killer Is Dead.
Marvelous. I mean, if it's a Suda 51 game, then you know damn well I've at least seen it.
I mean, look at the intro.
Yeah.
It's like Kill Bill.
I wish I can do the flip sting whistle or nervous whistle, whatever it's called.
Hey, you pretty much start off getting killed, and you're like you reverse like finding your death. I think, like reverse finding out like who's here to kill you. Yeah, it's there's a little bit of like noir attached to this game, but like it's basically Kill Bill with like a sci-fi twist. Huh. And what was the other one? Like No More Heroes had like you have to be the number one assassin, right? By killing the other assassins.
That's what this reminds me of, the art style.
Yeah, it's a little bit of it. It's a Suda joint, right? It's a little bit of everything.
Huh.
Grasshopper manufacturer, right? Here, I'll show you the gameplay, and you'll be makes sense. See? And it's very stylish looking.
Very. Kind
of. And Ace, I'm pretty sure you play this, Ace, in your channel at some point, didn't you?
No. I haven't yet.
Really? I swear it could have been me, but like I feel like I saw, and he has a bionic arm, but
obviously, yeah.
I was like when this game came out, guy with red eyes, suit, samurai sword, bionic arm, but hot girls, I'm in.
Girlfriend. I'd love for one of these games for like the hero to look over the antagonist is like, I have your girlfriend, and well, basically Dragon's Dogma did that.
Well, like, isn't that Shadows of the Damned?
Oh, that's
literally Shadows of the Damned. I have your girlfriend.
Who the hell is that? That's the question.
I heard.
It wasn't until the last time I played Dragon's Dogma 1 that I got Fested. I had never gotten Festus until then. I always got the blonde shopkeeper, like every single time. And then for some reason, the last time I played, I like jinxed myself and ended up getting the Jester, Festus, or whatever his name is.
All right, Ace, you got to play this game. Assignment. Yes. It's super wacky. It's super fun. I think you'll like the combat. It plays like a little bit like Devil May Cry, right? With a little bit of lollipop chainsaw sprinkled on it.
I like that.
So it's a little bit of everything, and that's why I'm so shocked you haven't played it, because I feel like this is up your wheelhouse.
Yeah, this is definitely in your wheelhouse. Like, good lord, this looks good.
Yeah, look at this. Oh man, that's terrible.
All of these voices inside of my head. I forgot the rest of the lyrics.
But yeah, Killer's Dead, guys. Check it out.
Frustration is getting bigger. I can't say the rest of my usual lyrics because we're currently live streaming, and I can't say the N word. I can, but it's funnier if I don't.
I'll grab. Here, I'll show you this, guys, real quick. All right, take a break from this for a second. So this is what came. Like, it was only available in this like mini box. Comes with the soundtrack. Comes with the art book. It was really cool. That's why I bought 3 of them. And I was like, this is just a cool looking game. I want to play it. And look, it's XSEED. We just talked about that, right?
Oh.
So yeah, check it out when you can. I supported it highly. I'm surprised that it hasn't got a PS4 release, right? But it must be a grasshopper thing, because they just kind of re-released Lollipop. So they have to probably do the same thing with this one as well. But yeah, this is a sleeper. Not a lot of people play this game, but this is a really good game.
Man.
So check it out.
So first Narco Terror, and now Killer is Dead. You just add some shit on my list here, man.
Yeah. Ironically, I don't have a playthrough of this game, but I did stream it, and I'm pretty sure Blue Riot Bot watched me stream this game. But I streamed this like years ago. It was a while back. But yeah, other games that had come out on the same day. Mega Man X4 on the PlayStation. On the PlayStation Saturn in 1997. Capcom versus SNK 2 came out in the arcade in 2001. Millennium Match. And then Golden Sun on the GBA in 2001. Monster Hunter Tri in 2009 for the Wii as well. So, yeah, we got some games here, man.
Yeah, some good games that day.
Let's see. Let's bring it back to the gameplay here. Yeah, it's creepy.
Dude. I do like the presentation, and again, I don't know.
Yeah, like that, like
action.
like that cell shaded like artwork, right? It's like
Yeah.
really interesting to look at, and it's on a flawed console. Honestly, it's on a PS3. So if this was on a PS4, I feel like it would run so much better. Like there wouldn't be as much screen tearing as you notice.
Not gonna lie, no, I didn't. But hey, I'm just good lord.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying this.
it's weird, right? Yeah, it's cool.
Hey, I like me some good weird sometimes, especially if it's a fighting game like this. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it reminded me of Kill Bill mixed with a bunch of like other like video game related things, but the theme was very Kill Bill ish. Look at that, it's double trigger.
Actually, you know what? No, it just dawned on me. It's not just Gungrave, but also Rising Zam, and I think it's just the whole
a little bit of that
3D
too.
Fighter. Yeah, 3D fighter, sexy cowboy action time.
The weird thing is like the main character is actually like silent protagonist ish, but he's not really quiet, but like he's like cool quiet guy, kind of like Spike, but he's not like he's not very witty though, So yeah, check it out. We're just oozing over this game. Anyway, let's go with our last day here on the 2nd of August. My game of feature was Galgun Double Piece. Yes, Galgun Double Piece.
Looks good.
Do you guys know what Galgun Double Piece is?
I'm guessing gotcha game slot.
You're far from it. Ace, do you have an idea what Galgun is?
I've seen some YouTube playthroughs of it. Just
okay. So I think it was February 2018, right? I just had broken up with my girlfriend. And I was like, yeah, no, it's not a good start. But I was like, and it was Valentine's Day, right? And I was like, what should I do for Valentine's Day? Should I watch Predator? Because usually that's what I watch. Predator, right? It's my ritual.
Is that why she broke up?
No.
But Predator on Valentine's Day.
So Galgun Double Piece is about the main character is you, the boy. Those two are your love interests. The two characters in the back is an angel and a devil, right? And the angel gives you a gun. And I'm not kidding you. This is the plot. So for your guy is so loyal to these two girls that he wants to date them. But the devil put a curse on the whole city that all the girls are in love with you. So they're trying to hug you and kiss you.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
Yeah. So the gun that she gives you is a gun that repels them.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
So the whole point of the game is to you like, don't touch me, I have a girlfriend, and it shoots them. Yeah, literally that's what it is.
Cheat.
Yeah. So I was like, this is a perfect game to play on Valentine's Day. It's a wild.
So long story short, you are one of the Eds, and you were trying to keep the Canker sisters away.
Basically, the whole city is a one giant Canker sister.
Do I see hentai fiend?
Yeah. So you're like a neat, right?
What's the difference between hentai? Oh my God! It's literally that. It's literally this game.
Hey, you know what? I forgot to tell you. It's a real shooter.
What?
Literally a real shooter. It's House of the Dead, but all the dead is girls.
Gyarus.
Yeah, look, they're like, oh, give me a hug. No, get away from me.
And he doesn't cheat.
Yeah. And what you do is like you shoot them with like endorphins, and they're like, oh, he's so cute, and they pass out.
Because I don't know, maybe it's maybe I'm a bitter, jaded person nowadays, but I can't look at this with innocent eyes and go, yeah, sure, go ahead, shoot women. Nowadays, you just can't do that. I don't mean that like, yeah, they used to do that back then. No, because it's the context. It's the context.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about this game, right? If you actually shoot the girls in certain areas and they react to it.
What?
So, he shot her foot, and she's like. So that's one of the differences in this game.
Huh.
Yeah, they changed the way when they were depending where they get shot. Yes, this is a game. Yes, it's House of the Dead 12, House of the Harem, Jigos. That's awesome. House of the Harem
would not fly in the UK right now.
I love it. House of the Harem. I love it. But yeah, it was just a game. I was like, this game is so dumb. I'm gonna play it.
Our poor bruvs. Hey, rest in peace to our poor bruvs in it in Britain Bongland right now. I'm feeling for you guys.
But I know you weren't here to just watch me, talk and goon over Galgun. We wanted to talk about the other games that came out for 8.2, which one of them was Streets of Rage that we'll cover here in a second. But Tobal number 1 also had released in 1996 for the PlayStation. Dragon Quest X on the Wii in 2012. Abzu, the underwater ocean exploration game, was pretty fun. On the PS4 and PC in 2016. The Batman Telltale series had released on the PC, PS4, Xbox One in 2016. And Galgun came out on the Vita and the PS4 in 2016. So anyway, that is yep, there it is. There it is. So all these characters from Disgaea.
My God.
But yeah, the game that everybody was here for this day.
The most cardboard cutout look.
Let's go. All right, so
sorry. No, I couldn't help but notice the Galgun double piece guy. As always, the most cardboard cutout looking nigga you ever seen in a harem situation.
Protagonist man, yeah.
Protagonist man. Might as well be in an isekai. Good lord.
Yeah, basically. Always same haircut too.
You know, I can hear. Okay, so yeah, I tagged myself for Streets of Rage, even though this is a game we have talked about before. We talked about 2 episodes ago when I was on, 2 episodes ago, where of the Thomas Duder Chronicles of Gamer Quotient of the class. But I'm just telling you, it's iconic. You hear the song right now. I know you do, Ace. The moment we saw these words, the song started. Yeah. I'll take a moment.
You know what? They say that Super Nintendo has a better sound chip, but I think this game proves me kind of wrong.
Okay,
Adam, motherfucking Hunter, thank you.
Super Nintendo may have had a better sound trip, but the Super Nintendo did not have Yuzo Koshiro.
Oh, true.
That's true.
True.
That man made magic with the freaking synthesizer.
Well, and remember, I think the Genesis was also Michael Jackson's choice of console.
Oh, true.
Right?
Yeah. Dreamwalker and such. Or Moonwalker.
Yeah, and they literally made Sonic based off Michael Jackson.
What, really?
Yeah, like his shoes and everything. Yeah, it was all.
That explains the gloves.
Yep, the white gloves. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, like Diego said, Sega knew how to use the Yamaha sound processor. I'm telling you, it was like this man with a Casio. This is like when the one dude whose name just slips my Nobuo Uematsu, who created One Winged Angel on what should have been a calculator, and it's the most iconic sound you ever heard from Final Fantasy. And then you got this Streets of Rage.
I think he also based that song off a Led Zeppelin song.
That explains a lot.
Which is weird. It's like you got this orchestral apocalyptic song, apocalyptic song based off a Led Zeppelin song. That's kind of crazy.
But that does, since I'm going to steal a segue from you. So, that also kind of brings up about genre mixing, which, in music happens a lot more than you think. You could take any classical sound, put it to some fucking bass guitar, some backup vocals, on that shit, just straight up guitar, leading rhythm, and it will sound good. No matter what it is, it's going to rock the fucking house. That's just how it is.
They're like, they're like brothers in music, right? Kind of the same.
You just can't rap to. I saw a comedian on YouTube too recently, and it's one of them one man skit type of dudes, Rise Bars or something like that. And he's talking about when the beat doesn't match the lyrics. It's just like this dude starts rapping over like Bach or something like that. I was like, you can't do that. Don't do that.
You gotta spit like poetry, slam poetry over Bach or something.
No. It was we got the clock. It was crazy, dude. But it was a comedian thing, so it was good.
But going back to Streets of Rage, though, images you can hear.
Oh yeah.
Not just the theme song, but I mean just like I'm just watching the gameplay footage and I can hear the every time that fight hits someone. It's just like that. That's visceral.
Ace played this a lot.
Yes, in one of my movie scripts, The Mook, there's a whole elevator action situation on a skyscraper. There's a cargo elevator sequence because of Streets of Rage 1. Just saying.
I also think that we got Final Fight Streetwise, but how we get a SOR 4 versus the Final Fight 4? Come on, man.
We got Streets of Rage 4 though, did we?
I know. No, we got that first before another Final Fight.
Oh, that's what you meant. My bad.
That doesn't include Streetwise. Streetwise is totally different. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about 2D beat 'em up.
Yeah, straight 2D.
So, and Capcom can do it. Like they have the tech.
They still own the IP.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like they like mastered the 2D beat 'em up in the 90s and early 2000s, and I don't know why they're just like I think they're so obsessed with just 3D and like impressing 3D graphics
There
that
we
they're
go.
just like forgetting about it. And I also love the fact that your backup is just a squad car
Cops.
and a rocket launcher.
Back when so not to get too socioeconomic political about it,
Yeah, of
back when I
course.
still believed in the police, and I honestly believed that cops would go out of their way to like, yeah, we're gonna go support the vigilantes defeating the bad guy to save Metrocity, and they show up with like an RPG and a rocket launcher and just bazookas, and they would just back you up like that. That's back in the day when like I still believed in RoboCop. I don't think RoboCop
Yeah, but
fly
which is
nowadays.
kind of ironic. A robot cop, a cop that doesn't like feel. So-
Nobody does. That's what makes
Yeah,
him strong.
no, every cop is RoboCop.
RoboCop is dope.
Yeah. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is like I would love a new Final Fight. We are like right now we're in this like renaissance of beat 'em ups, and I'm seeing all these beat 'em ups pop up. Right, we featured a bunch of them on the channel during that episode, right? And I feel like with the release of Double Dragon Revive, right? Or was it is it Revive? Like I don't mind it. Like if it looks like Gaiden, if it looks like River City Girls. I had so much fun playing that game. I played it from like start to finish. Like I didn't put it down, you know.
Yeah.
So like it's okay to make games that are like $30, but make them 2D like this, right? And not like full price. Like
And
I'll
what is worth,
we'll
it
play
shouldn't take
that.
too many assets too, by the way.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like when honestly, guys, when I say like it's not our fault they're putting millions of dollars into these games. We didn't ask for that, right? We just want the games to be fun, right? So like it's them that's putting the blame on us because their games aren't selling because they're putting so much money down on it.
I think that's more or less now. Once again, we're going to that business, C-suite marketing executive kind of
always do.
thought patterns. And the thing about it is that I think none of them want to admit when they fail. Nobody wants to be held accountable anymore. Back in the day, it used to be that, somebody, it's not even that somebody's head's going to come off. You don't have to commit Sudoku, but you might lose your job if you fucked up. And the problem that we're seeing nowadays is that we're not seeing enough executives like what happened with, which one was it? I think it was Nintendo where the CEO took a pay cut because there was something they released that didn't do that well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, this is Nintendo. It was Satoru.
Yeah.
It was Iwata, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, it was Wada. And that's taking responsibility. It's not Sudoku. You don't got to commit seppuku, but mea culpa. Take responsibility and then make it better. That's why we have Cyberpunk 2077 now, as excellent as it is. It took them a while to get there, but they did it. They took responsibility and accountability and made something of it. And that's the issue that you see nowadays. There's no executive that wants to do that. And I honestly think we're the poorer for it.
I'll be real with you. It all boils down to one thing. And we know it's money, right? But the way the way it's really done is because the companies that we put our money into is public. Ubisoft is public, EA is public, right? And those public companies are based off the investors. So ultimately, what happens is they go, "Well, I gave you $100 million, EA, and you promised me $200 million back, right?" So now EA has to go, well, we have to make a game now that has to sell $800 million. And so
but in doing so, they're pigeonholing themselves.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's because the devs and the CEO and they're not in cohesion. Like the CEO goes, no, we got to figure out a way to get your money back, right? So we got to do the scummiest things. We got to sell skins, right? The stuff we don't like. Right?
The live service is crap.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we have live service games. And I guarantee you, and Andre will probably agree with me. The reason why WB is doubling down on DC live service is because they probably owe someone a lot of money, and they
probably owe someone a lot of money for Suicide Squad.
That's what I mean. They lost so much money on Suicide Squad. They're going, well, as much as you hate it. We have to get our money back.
Squad and MK1.
Yeah, and also like Multiverse. Multiverse was a flop when it came back. It was good when it was there.
Yeah, it was a sad flop. I never understood why it actually failed.
Oh, there's a video of that on Matt with Muscle's channel, but the primary reason why it failed is because, and this is gonna sound ridiculous, when it first launched as a beta, they didn't expect it to be successful, so they weren't ready.
Oh my god!
Isn't that a stupid reason? So
That
which
is very
means
stupid.
the devs were actually good because it was a good game. They liked it.
Yeah.
But the publisher was like, wait a minute, why come everybody likes this game? Right? And then they go, okay, panic. We got to make more money off it. Let's take it off and then make it a full game and then add all this extra stuff to it. And then we'll put it back on the market.
Modern
That's
day
exactly what
executive
happened.
thought is a literal bane. It's terrible. What modern day executives can do is crappy as hell, and they know they won't learn. And there's not enough people that are paying for it because again, no accountability. They'll just shovel it off to a freaking intern or something. And
The part that sucks on this is that even though we push, like, hey, they need to be a little bit more responsible with their design and their games, right? But like, at the end of the day, like, who gets, like, if the game doesn't sell and the devs are working hard, the devs get canned, right? So like, that's why it sucks. It's a lose-lose, and this is why the CEOs get to go away with their golden parachutes. And it sucks so bad for those that are just like, hey, I'm just trying to make a good game, you know?
Hey, let's also not forget that even if they do well, they're still going to get shuttered. Hi-Fi Rush, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Bomb
you know,
Punk, Cyberpunk, one of them.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like they probably looked at this IP and they go, "Can we make more money off this outside standard sales? It's not probably worth keeping. Right? Let's license it or something or whatever, right?" Yeah. So and that's kind of like the nature. And this is because remember back in the day, like games were like usually made by companies that were making like fun games for kids. Now it's extended to people with nerds with money. And that's a whole different market now. You know, like we got people spending money on mobile games like thousands of dollars, right? So like, unless that stops, they're gonna keep making that stuff because people are putting money into it, right? Because what Nick says, dev costs, it costs less for those live service games than to make another game, right? So it's like we're really stuck in this weird thing, and the best thing you can do is vote with your wallet and make your voice heard because they will listen to you. And if not, at the same time, I think something good will come out of the industry by your protest, because like, you know, like with Expedition 33, the guy worked for Ubisoft and he said, I don't want, this place sucks, like I don't get anything done in this what do you call this, all this red tape here, you know, there's thousands of employees here, I can't get anything done. This bureaucracy. And he made a good game, you know, by taking matters in his own hands. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that. I want to see more creators just create without like the locks and chains of like, you got to make a game that sells, you know, post
investor value.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why games suck these days, because of that.
But that's exactly, and we've said this before. In fact, I think we'll probably say it again eventually. That is why the indies will always save us. Eventually, people with passion, with all the technology we have nowadays, with all the access, with all the ability, unless you know you're playing or you're making an adultish game, in which case you're not going to get on itch.io or Steam right now. But give it about a half a year, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Give it like a couple months. There's no people that are against that shit. That's like,
let's be real though. Every time Ace recommends a game, it's usually an indie game. And he's having a blast with it, and he's featuring it on our channel, right? So it's just true, right? And then you know, and we talk about and we criticize like, well, how come AAA games can't be like this? Because they can't, because they're focusing more on monetization. That's why, right? Like, you know, like I play, and I'm guilty of supporting it. I played Diablo 4, I played Marvel Rivals. Like these are the games that are like require you to come back and pay more money when you're done with the season. Right. So, you know, and this is why I'm glad we have such a diverse group of gamers at the Academy. So, you know, and like I said, I play those games because I think they're fun. Doesn't necessarily mean they're fun. I think they're fun, you know, and that's what Nick tries to talk about is like, you got to play your preference. If you like that game, just play it. You have the option to, but if you want to play a Diablo game that's like free, Path of Exile's around, play that. Play Lost Ark, right? And don't spend any money. It's your choice. You have a lot of options. You know?
You'll probably do better than Elon Musk just spending a week playing any of those games.
I mean, think about it this way. There is a reason, and I mentioned this last week, there is a reason why we have such a massive influx of, you know, more people showing up on social media and on YouTube, you know, starting to pick up Warframe again. You know, we've got more people coming in, picking up Warframe, going, wait a minute, why did no one tell me this game was good? And the rest of the community is just sitting there like, we've been trying to tell you for 10 plus years.
Well, it's because I think partially is because, one, it's free to play. So when they think free to play, it's not good. Right. And also, I think the marketing of other games just just drown out Warframe.
Just drown it out.
Yeah, you know, for like Destiny has been like taking over that space for the longest time until recently, right? So now those players are like, well, I don't want to. Destiny sucks now. What do I play? Right. Well, there's Warframe, there's First Ascendant, right? So now they're going, wow, Warframe's actually good. How long has it been out for? Like they're in shock, right? So, but that's on them because marketing is so powerful. We talked about this earlier. That marketing is so strong, and companies put more money in marketing than sometimes the dev cycle because that's how powerful it is for them to sway you to play their game, you know, versus like actually making it, right? So, and that's a lesson for. I think this is why I always push like, if it's free, just try it, see if you like it. You know, check it out. If there's a demo, that's why it's important to have a demo because people are not going to put the money down if they don't know if the game's fun or.
Right.
And I'm sure that person has watched somebody play Warframe and is like, oh, this is a fun game, but just still didn't do it, right? Because they were still playing their other game. It's a matter of like how much time they have. But like if once they make that step, they take that first dip into playing the game, they're gonna be like, oh, I get it. This is great. You know, I've been missing out. Why was I wasting my time with Destiny? You know. So and that's what I mean. It's like it's channels like ours that I hope when people watch and you guys share this and they go, wow, there's actually a lot more variety of games out there than I thought it was. I didn't know there was more than just Gears of War. I can play what's this binary domain game? You know, what's Galgun? You know what I'm saying? Like this is why we like featuring games that are kind of weird. So this way people can go explore and see all those games out there. Right? So,
and have a good time above all.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, you know. But you know, life is hard, and we work a lot towards that. So, and you know, we grind out in real life so we can play games in our fake life. So
yeah,
and I know we're running a little long, so we'll just get straight to the final boss over here, and we'll call it for the night. It's getting really warm in this room, but tonight, and I thought I updated this. Guess not. Oh well, let's update it now. So last week we talked about how grinding isn't just for XP. But man, this week hits a little bit different because life, IRL, is always on no easy mode. All right, that's a topic for tonight. So, for the final boss, and I think I have, I feel like I did do like a intro to this. It's all right. It's okay. We'll just do this.
Available for your home in 1995.
Excellent.
That's right. We'll just do that. So the topic for tonight is there is no easy mode IRL. There is no easy mode in real life, and that's okay. All right, that's okay. Now, here's the message for you guys tonight. In video games, we're given a choice. Usually it's easy, normal, or hard. Now we adjust based on how much challenge we want or how much time we can invest in, right? Sometimes games are more fun when they're a little bit more challenging. Sometimes you just want to play for the story, right? I get it. But in real life, there is no difficulty setting. You wake up, you put it on your shoes, you put your best foot forward. You know, you maybe check out my motivational comic every Wednesday morning, right? And to help you out with your day. But there is no difficulty setting menu. You're dropped into this real world without a tutorial, with random gear, a wanky camera angle, and zero respawns. That's facts. Zero respawns hits pretty real. All right. Now, some people start with rich inventories, others start in survival mode. You know, whether you're that or not, you are given what you are provided and you start with. But yet we keep playing, right? Because every time you show up, every time you push through the grind and you figure something out, or maybe level up through your pain, you're getting real XP. And that's super important for you as you grow, as you're leveling up your character. The character is you, right? The winner is you. And that's what life is. It's not about finding the cheat code. It's not about building the skill tree and like no one else sees, you know. And trust me, you've gone through enough. You've done plenty that you've already come further than you think. So like every time I tell you guys every episode, give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself more credit. Stop being so hard on yourself because if not for you, who's going to cheer for you? Right? So be your own cheerleader. The world is hard enough as it is. Take it easy on yourself. You deserve that extra, you know, extra meal tonight. You deserve that extra game for this weekend, extra hour for yourself. take it easy on yourself, because leveling up is hard in real life. You're grinding, the grind is hard, and you're playing on hard mode whether you like it or not. So that is my final boss for Tuesday night, 7/29/2025. Yeah, panel, what do you guys have to add to final boss, or any other comments?
My best cheerleader is my beloved wife.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, that makes me feel bad for what I was about to say.
Oh God!
Oh no!
Hey, we're live streaming. Stop!
There's this one quote that I keep coming back to whenever I deliver the daily reminder to folks while we're on my streams. You have survived 100% of your worst days. There aren't really any track records more impressive than that. So, again, give yourself a little bit more credit. You're doing better than you think.
All right, Bastard, what you got?
I have, as funny as I am, and I know I got that Jack Black energy before he gave up on Kyle Gass. Let's not forget about that part. No, I understand. I come off whack as a pretty crass dude, but honestly, a pretty bad dude, if you will. But in all honesty, I have I have a very basic philosophy known as accept. And yes, I stole that from the Bastard Dark Schneider anime. Shut up, manga, whatever. But but no, there's something said about that. Accept yourself. ACCEPT, mind you, not the other one. Although do the other one too, unless you're a murderer, in which case, no, blame yourself. I hope you're haunted by Silent Hill. But straight talk though, or at least bisexual talk even, accepting yourself. One of the first steps of that is knowing yourself, being good with yourself, being good to yourself. I'm not even saying love thyself, although a lot of people would say that too. Get to know yourself, be good with yourself, and be good to yourself. So my philosophy of acceptance is definitely on there with what you're talking about here. Period. I mean, honestly, that's just where it starts. Like, I really like the fact what you just said. Like, tonight, play some game. Get yourself a little extra dessert. Call up... Go and buy and download Killer 13 compilation 00 and 01 by Thomas Tudor after the things on Amazon, Smashwords, which is now Draft 2 Digital, and anywhere else you can find me. But straight.
Shameless plug.
I've actually muted myself 3 or 4 times because I didn't want to laugh too hard. Because no, cheer y'all, everybody, not just my fellow panel, not just the principal, my fellow staff member, not just the students in the chat, all y'all listening. Do right by yourself. Be good to yourself. That's what's up. Thank you, Venom.
Dude, it is a natural. All right, Venom, you're banned.
Please don't steal me. My wife would be very mad about that, and then she'd have to bad dude all over you.
I love the love. That's all
it's a national treasure. It's a national treasure joke, baby.
I know.
Yeah, leave her alone. She's good.
No, that's why I married her.
All right. So with that said, if you've been feeling like the odds are stacked, like you're under-leveled or stuck in a boss with no checkpoint in sight, know this. The game didn't beat you. You're still playing it. And that means you're winning. So keep grinding, keep showing up, because you're the kind of player who doesn't need easy mode, even though you're playing on hard. All right, that's because that's your final boss for tonight. Class dismissed. All right, y'all have a good one. We'll see you next week, guys. Y'all take care.
See ya.
J-Rock.